Super.
BS.
Hi, I'm Brian. Oh, wait, is that how you wanted to start it tonight? Okay.
Oh, that sounds right.
Guys, welcome to Super BS.
Hell yeah!
What? We're doing a acapella James Horner openings now. So, welcome.
Doing more of a Hans Zimmer opening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is actually a podcast within a podcast.
Wow. Where's my totem? Where's my totem?
Where's my totem? Where's my totem?
Guys, welcome to the 32nd annual episode of Super BS, and I will be your host.
It's actually Superbs.
Superbs.
Yes,
Is
that's
the
search us on
correct.
Google. Superbs.
We've been saying it wrong for a long time.
Will there ever be another episode 32?
There will.
Yep.
There will be one next week.
All right.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. We're just gonna,
Now that we've hit 32, every episode can be 32 because it'll be our 32nd episode after our first episode.
we've peaked, so we're just gonna
That's it.
stay at 32.
That's it. It's like hitting the level cap in Skyrim.
There you go, 32.
Which is 32. Everybody knows.
It's
that.
like my grandma's age.
Guys, I feel like we're really just beating around the bush and dodging what we really want to talk about tonight, and that is, well, actually, I don't even know what it is.
That's what we played.
Net neutrality. What is
Neutrality?
Neutral tea is tea that you don't know whether it's black or green.
Okay, so it's just kind of like in the middle. You're
It's,
just not
it's
sure.
healthy, but it tastes
Yeah.
good with cream.
And
But-
it's easy to look at.
Net neutrality, as everybody knows, is a terrible thing, and we want to end it, and that's why we are.
Well,
going to
you're giving
Congress.
us all an opinion on something I don't even know what it is.
I don't
Yeah.
think you need to know. Everybody
easy
who's
there.
listening,
You're out of order.
Easy there, Fox
You're going to the
News.
stocks, right, Eric? Is
Yeah.
that the
Yeah, I know,
Donna?
that's
Donna,
right.
I'm so sorry, Donna.
I want
Don't say my name.
I want a king of the internet. Okay, I'm sick of this neutral internet. without
Can a
king.
white knight please just tell me what net neutrality is?
It's racist.
So net neutrality is something that exists
Donna thinks he's a
now
white knight. Okay.
that the Trump-appointed head of the FCC is trying to gut.
What's that guy's name? Abe something too.
It's called. It's called.
He doesn't have a gender. That's how net neutrality he is.
No, I forget his name. I think his last name's Pai. I think he's Indian or something.
A jai pie or a Thai pie.
I can
Thai
look this
pie.
up. I have the world at my fingertips here, y'all.
No, it doesn't exist. So,
Okay.
anyways, what does he say about it? We'll get his
You
name.
have the world at your fingertips for now, but
For
soon
now.
it will cost you.
yeah.
Yeah, explain.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So basically, the gutting of net neutrality, what it does is it backs off government regulation on the ISP, ISPs.
Oh, the internet
providers.
governing thing,
So
right?
that's been happening pretty much since the internet existed, and really started happening in the George W. Bush era, but was legislated during the Obama era, which is why a lot of conservatives think that it's just bad because they just hate Obama.
Right.
But what
Thanks,
what it actually means if it gets gutted is it means that ISPs can do whatever they want. So what it will do, like in countries like Portugal, when you buy internet or like phone service, you have packages depending on what you want to use. So if you want to use Netflix, that's an extra charge. If you want to use social media, that's another extra charge. So what they're afraid of is that what people are afraid of is that basically now it'll be like when cable companies could charge you whatever they wanted.
Oh, gotcha.
And when they could say like, oh, if you want HBO, you also have to buy Stars and Cinemax or something like
Right.
that. And so that's basically what's going to happen. And especially for video gamers, it could be terrifying because they could charge extra internet. And this is just the internet companies, let alone like the fees you pay to Netflix.
Weird.
So this is like your phone company or whoever does your internet. They can also say like, okay, if you want to use Xbox Live, it's going to be an extra $10. If you want to use
my
this,
gosh.
so imagine a scenario where you use an Xbox, you subscribe to Xbox Live, which is reasonably $60 a year. It's not that
$60
bad.
a year. Which all of us pay.
I actually
but-
have an announcement about my gold status tonight, but I'm saving it.
We'll save that
It's the
announcement.
highlight of the episode.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So imagine this scenario where if you want to use your Xbox on the internet, that costs you an extra $10 on your internet. Then if you want to use Netflix, your internet provider also charges like a Netflix
Right.
streaming app fee.
Okay.
So that's an extra, like, that's.
But the idea though behind it, like Trump's sort of rationale for doing this is to promote competition because there's a lot of criticism on that space? Is that the
is he for it or against?
I don't think it's like it's something he like put in place, but I don't think he's said anything about it. Really.
But why would his? Okay, I'm just saying like the whole point of his cabinet is to like increase economic growth and like stimulate the economy and things like that. And one of the ways to do that is to promote competition. And this doesn't exist in this space currently. As you know, there's 4 companies, and each company has a dominion over every area. Like you can only get high-speed internet from one company in certain areas that you live in.
Exactly. But see, that's the thing. So if that's the case, then that company basically can do whatever they want. Because there's a lot of areas too. There's a lot of areas where you can get multiple services. There's just one that's better. But there's a lot of like rural areas where they literally have only one option.
Well, some apartment complexes.
Where I live, it's just Spectrum.
Because they have contracts.
In places like that, they can charge you whatever they want.
And
because it's no longer relegated. But here's the other thing they can do. They can also throttle internet speeds.
Well, that's the whole point of this, right? Wait, what were you gonna say, Josh?
Wait, is that kind of like so? Usually, like when my neighbor, we all have Spectrum where I live, and
Time
like
Warner Cable. Yeah.
Usually, when a neighbor calls and says their internet's not working, the guy comes out and he does something, and then somebody else's internet goes out. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Like,
no, what I meant is that they can choose like. They can basically say like, oh, if you want fast speed, it's going to be this much more. There'll be no more regulations on what they can and can't do.
Because that currently exists, right? Where there's a cap on the speed of the internet. That
the cap of the speed, I think, is the same. I don't remember if that's government regulated because the cap, because like in a country,
I think it is.
I don't know about speed caps because I know that they could slow the internet down.
Why would they regulate speed though?
Because for example, there's a story. I forget which company did this. But something that a company could do, for example, is like they could also censor what websites you have access to. So
what is this? China?
That's actually kind of
what they can do and have already done is like companies.
Sorry, Chinese listeners. So sorry. Okay, continue.
Is that companies can do things like if you go to a news website or if you go to like a torrent website or something like that they don't like, they can slow that down for you.
That's sick.
They've already like we talked about before we started. It's the same thing like when AT&T told Apple that they can't allow Skype on their phones,
right.
Because it's a competing thing.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes me nervous, and I know it's not exactly corporate based, but makes me think it could move towards like government regulation. Is in China, that's exactly how it works. The government controls which sites people can view and which they can't. And yeah, right now it's just talking about like raising all of our costs, which I think you said is similar to what they did in Portugal, or what they have in Portugal.
They don't have net neutrality in Portugal. So.
Yeah, so they have to pay more, like you said, for like package deals. But the thing that worries me even more is this just leads to like a possibility in the future where it's like, oh, they don't like this anymore. Well, you can't see this.
Right,
and it's like done.
Yeah, because since they're corporations, they do have special interests that are involved with things. So it's like
lobbyists.
Yeah,
and
so they'll say like, oh, we don't want you to see this website. So if you have our service, you can't. Or they can slow you down on certain things. Again, charge you like we were talking about. If you want to download games, you can't. Or if you want to, you have to pay exorbitant amounts.
Yeah.
of money.
So that kind of brings me to another point of interest though. Like, this is. In a way, this could be like, because most internet providers are cable providers also, so it's kind of like their last chance at staying inside the cable market, because if they charge more for like streaming services, people aren't going to want to use them anymore.
So an interesting, and that's the thing is it's that could be an interesting thing if the worst happens, if everyone just kind of like revolted and decided they didn't need less, because right now I think most people would no longer consider the internet a commodity but a necessity, because everything
sure, right? Everything's running.
And see, that's why it's problematic, because companies know that people need it and that eventually they will give in because they need it.
I'm also a little bit concerned just for the sake of like, you've got this program, right, where they do every single thing they want, and they've got all this other stuff. And how long does it last till like we just get rid of like all of these rules against monopolies and all the other problems? Because I feel like this is totally leading towards like just more corporation-owned stuff. But anyway, sorry.
That's like a huge. I don't know. I don't think we're anywhere near that, because the government is extremely active and persistent on enforcing those types of laws. They do it all the time with the medical industry. I don't think they do it enough in this sort of market, but as of right now, the DOJ is trying to block a huge acquisition between AT&T and Time Warner. So in this direct space, they have an interest and they have a stake in it.
I wonder what do they do in Europe where they have where they can download 64 gigs in 1/2 second?
Oh, and that
they
actually
can do whatever they want.
That I don't even know, but that brought me up to the thing I meant to be talking about is the bandwidth caps too.
Yeah.
So we're moving on this thing where not all your companies can be able to do whatever they want in terms of what you can visit and what you have to pay extra for. But a lot of places already in San Francisco and such, they have bandwidth caps where they can only download a terabyte each month.
What's the point though? Why?
Well, I'm talking about the download speeds. I mean,
download speeds too. We also are a little bit behind in that too.
Though.
But we aren't behind in that. We're not allowed to use it. Is what it is.
Why though?
We're talking about fiber and stuff.
As in, well, no, because I don't know. Fiber's new-ish, right? Europe doesn't. I don't know what Europe has that's really fast, but they don't have the bandwidth caps that we have. And I remember being in a computer sociology class, and the teacher was saying that the existence of insane internet speeds is already in the U.S. The government and the companies just don't let you use it.
Yeah, in 2010 they came to where where my parents live and asked, "Hey, do you want us to install fiber wire?" Which was fiber optic cables or something, which is supposed to increase it to, at that time it was 100 megabytes per second, which was insane. This was 2010, 2011.
But even then, in Europe, they had already faster than that.
But I mean, they never got that. My parents get still 10 megabytes per second or 15.
Yeah.
But anyways, we could probably talk about this for
are you
10
moderating the show,
years.
Brian?
Yeah,
I thought I was moderating the show.
Yeah, what's going on? You were demoted from host status.
I know. I'm sorry. They locked me in a closet.
Okay, so can we just turn Brian's mic off?
Yeah.
Josh, can you
give it a quiet.
do that real quick? Okay, thanks. Cool.
Wait, guys, don't stop me from talking.
Anyway, it's an interesting thing. It has a lot of bad implications. The idea that it will drive competition, I guess all that you really have to look at or decide is if you think that that's even possible, because it makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
But is that ever what happens when things go this way?
I think things will get way worse before they get better, if at all. I think things will get worse for a while, and then there will be huge blowback and fallout. Anyways, I'm so glad you cleared that up for me, because I thought net neutrality was a political thing.
It's not at all.
And I thought, and that's why I was asking all those prelim questions, do we really want to talk about this? It's okay.
It's
I guess
not
it's
political.
theoretically political, but it's
That's why I was being
but I meant
sarcastic. It is totally
PC,
political.
4chan-y,
Politicians have
whatever.
no interest
I
in
love
this.
4chan, and that's why I'm going to subscribe for the extra
I'm
$20
actually
a month.
I'm actually downvoting that.
I'm never not on 4chan.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to pay your extra $20 a month to get there.
That's cool, man. I'm so down. Anyways, few house sweeping items, as Brian likes to call them.
House cleaning.
House cleaning.
You need to sweep to clean though. So
house mopping items. Real quick, guys. We love our listeners. We really would love to hear from you. So if you could rate and review the show.
Hear. That's the problem.
Can we read from you? That would be great.
Love
Actually,
to read from you, though.
We read your stuff aloud. So does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
That does.
Okay, great.
It's allowed.
Okay. Oh, nice. Good one. So please rate and review the show. Please hit us up on Gmail, superbscast@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and that'd be great. So please do that. We'd love to read your content, your questions. Actually, if you have questions for us, we'd love to answer them on the show. So please do that.
I heard we had 2 reviews.
Oh,
you sure?
Should we hit up our
reviews? We can do it at
reviews?
the end or now. I'm just curious about those review corners.
Yeah, now that we're on the topic, let's bust this crank bank open.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, real quick while we're waiting for that, Justice League was actually a lot of fun. I watched it today.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
nobody else can
so
talk about
interesting
that.
and topical.
And it was very topical.
Thanks,
and I thought that.
Brian. Josh, did you watch?
Yeah, no, I saw it I saw it a couple weeks ago before Thanksgiving. It was. I see why people didn't like it, but also I wasn't expecting a deep emotional story. I just was expecting an ensemble film.
It's the best DC film I've seen.
Yeah, no,
Whoa.
for sure. It's
better than the second Batman.
Oh,
when it first came
no.
out?
I'm sorry. I should say it's the best DC film out of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Wonder Woman.
The best DCU film.
Yeah, DC Extended Universe.
Okay,
so
okay.
it's not a huge, compliment.
Yeah,
It's
it catered to DC fans. It was if you were one of those people who were you're a casual viewer, you'll either like it or you'll hate it. But DC fans, comic book fans, everyone I talked to really liked it.
Oh, really?
I thought it was a lot of fun. To be honest, I thought Wonder Woman was
casual
good, but that was
fan.
slow. But what are those boyos?
Are you gonna let me moderate the show, Brian?
I'm not. I'm gonna keep.
It's your second strike. I will strike you out. Okay, this is from someone we don't know, named Davey 28492819489.
This guy sounds like an idiot.
Dumbass.
Great
Dumbass.
show. Exclusive interviews. Check this one out. These guys are super knowledgeable and fun to listen to. Highly recommend the show to all gamers. The best thing about the show are the exclusive interviews they somehow get. So special shout out to BrankStank who gets those.
Special shout out to exclusive interviews twice by that review.
Hooray!
Yes.
What he actually means is non-inclusive interviews.
Non-inclusive.
We try to exclude everyone with our interviews.
We keep all the video game publishers and designers just like at,
They're
and we
trying
also
to
try
give
to
a door.
exclude our listeners as well.
They
There we
actually
go.
want to interview us.
We don't want you to comprehend what's going on.
We're the most exclusive.
that was
podcast.
5 stars. So thank you, Davey.
If you want to get the government in here for some kind of interview neutrality
Yeah.
act,
Just shut up.
just
and
Just shut up. We'll exclude you. Okay, this next interview or this next exclusive review is from Haunted.
exclusive review.
Exclusive.
It's from Haunted Tree. Title is Love the Show. These guys really know what's up with the game scene. Highly recommend to any level of game lover.
yeah.
I'm a level of game lover right here, so I agree with that.
What level are you?
I'm a high level of game lover.
High level of game lover.
12.
That's
That's
great.
12.
I'm level 1, but I've cycled back. I've maxed
It's
my
your
level so many
prestige.
times.
Are you third-
yes, your third
Prestiging my
playthrough.
game.
Are you doing a
lover
pacifist
levels.
playthrough of love?
Yeah, pacifist.
Pass these fists.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so BrankStank, would you tell me what games you've been playing?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna save one of the games for old Donna to tell us about, but I've been playing a couple. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins though. I don't know if anyone else has been playing that here. That is a lot of fun. Like I kind of went like, oh, it's okay to, oh, it's more fun to, like, I wish I was home playing it right now.
I'm really excited for when the load times become too long for you and it's now no fun at all and then you just stop playing entirely.
I'll get an Xbox One X at that time and lower my load times by half.
I'm really excited for a really fast-paced quest that then takes 10 minutes and is a never-ending quest.
Whoa,
Yes,
what is that about?
That's what I love.
This quest never ends.
Yeah, no, I think Assassin's Creed Origins is probably the best Assassin's Creed since 2. Like I think it's like,
I've heard that.
It looks like the best Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed since 2.
and I mean I know that's not like the craziest compliment. It's not like the greatest game series ever, but it's fun. You know, you run around, you assassinate people, you hide,
And there's
Wait,
Creed
you
about
assassinate?
it.
Yeah.
you creed about it. No, there's
Waiting for Assassin's Creed Edition.
Assassin's Creed Creed.
Scott Stapp enters the Animus.
Can you kill me?
Anytime you do a leap of faith, it plays that song.
Oh man, that would actually be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's swan dives.
And it's slow
Oh
mo.
yeah, like every
my
time you
gosh.
jump off a building. Yeah.
That's got to exist.
It's just
And
like
then-
a picture-in-picture where it's like a fade of Creed playing that song while he's like,
gosh.
And then halfway through the game, you get a drug addiction.
oh,
Whoa.
no, that doesn't
That's
happen.
dark,
Okay,
Josh.
Jesus is a rock star.
Oh,
And
and then
then-
you make a sex tape with Kid Rock.
Jesus is a rock star. Anyways, no, it's great. It's got I think I mentioned this last time, but it's got my favorite mechanic from Far Cry, where you go and you hunt animals and you craft stuff. And
Is the map overwhelming?
Is that your favorite mechanic?
that is from Far Cry. Yeah, that's probably my favorite mechanic from Far Cry.
My favorite mechanic is the one that fixes your car.
Yeah, that's a pretty good mechanic. I like different mechanics though too. There's all types of mechanics.
Ooh, we should talk about best mechanics in games this year.
We should game of the year. That
But
actually could be
obviously, we're gonna count Sydney from Final Fantasy.
I was just gonna
15.
ask you if we're gonna count the girl from yes. Okay.
which is the best mechanic. I actually thought you were being serious about mechanics, like the game mechanics, and not mechanics as in
that's
the
a serious
one.
question.
Well,
mechanic.
I was serious, so we should have a bunch of serious choices and then her.
Sydney, she's number one, of
Even though that
course.
technically came out last year, but everyone, you know.
What's the other game you're
It's
playing,
been-
Brian?
wait, so there's the one that I've been playing with Rick. Let me think. Actually, you know what? I think it's mainly been Assassin's Creed. I played a
Okay.
little bit of Mario, but
Oh my gosh!
I know it's just one game. I don't know. I did buy some
dear
stuff, but I'll talk about the other stuff I bought a little bit later. But yeah,
Jank Crank.
Hey, I finished Super Mario, guys. It only took me like 6 weeks.
Wow.
Lottie freaking died, dumbass.
Yep.
Wow,
Thank
language.
you. Guys, I quit.
This is a T-rated podcast.
Actually, we are explicit. I was curious about that. Why are we explicit?
Wait, why? I think I've said one swear
we're
my whole
all
life.
explicit.
Oh, I can change that.
Because my mom was like, David, why is it explicit?
Yeah, I've been. Tell your mom I'm sorry for the cusses.
Tell her if she
okay?
downloads us
cusses.
from Walmart, you'll actually have the edited version. So
They really edit the content?
Walmart edits all their.
Okay, they don't edit podcasts.
I
That
remember
was
getting
dumb.
stained though when I was trying to
Stained, dude.
clean.
Like from ketchup or something. Or...
Sorry, Jank. What are you playing? Mario.
Yeah, so I finished Mario, and it was good, man. Like I died a lot.
Oh, wait,
of
that reminds
course,
me.
But yeah,
It's time to interrupt Josh.
he hasn't interrupted you yet. Actually, he has, but just keep it going.
We're only 20 minutes in, so we only got one interruption.
Okay, so Mario.
and I bought I Am Setsuna, but I have not played it yet.
Okay.
How many moons do you have in Mario?
I have 192.
How many did you? What's like the bare minimum moons you need?
Like 125, I think. Something
So
like that.
easy to get that. Though.
I beat when I first beat the last boss. I had 136, I think. I want to
Okay.
say.
Yeah, something
Nice.
around there.
Are you gonna go back and do all the moon challenges like everybody else here?
Yeah, I'm kind of burnt out on it, but I will go back eventually.
Trade 75, bro. Didn't get burned out on it, bro.
I beat the game with over 500.
1,000 moons. He made moons in it.
So how many moons do you have in I Am Setsuna?
No.
So what is I Am Setsuna all about? I've heard of it. I just don't really know anything
It's
about it.
so Square Enix has a company called Tokyo Game Factory. And-
Tokyo RPG Factory.
Oh, Tokyo RPG Factory.
I haven't played it yet, so I don't know what it's about.
So you're not playing it this
No, he told us about something he bought, but didn't play. Even though I said we're going to talk about
Josh.
stuff we've been buying.
Okay.
I just wanted to have more games with Brian, guys. I'm sorry.
Even though you bought other stuff that we're going to talk about later too.
Eric, what are you playing?
Two things. I finished my playthrough of Fire Emblem Echoes,
Cool.
which
How
was
was
it?
really good. It made me. I was like, because Fire Emblem Awakening was like a.
Is that the Switch one?
No, that's the DS one that came out.
3DS.
3DS one that came out several years ago, and that was the one that I think introduced this series to a lot of people, because there's releases on GameCube and Wii and stuff, but I think they were a lot more under the radar.
That's the first one without the permadeath mechanic, where the
but I
option
think-
turned off.
And so it was a pretty good game. It's a cool world, and it's got cool game mechanics. But then they released Fates, which just looked really dumb to me. And it was also 3 games long, but not related. It was just dumb.
What was someone talking about this?
But
like,
so now
Yeah.
this one I actually really enjoyed even more than Awakening. I felt the story, and I realized the reason is because this is a remake of Fire Emblem 2, which came out. So it's an old game. So they had, something good to start to build on. I know a lot of people that are hardcore into the series, they prefer the original version of it. Because there's balance changes here and there, and there's things like that. But it's a really good game. It had a good story that hooked me from the beginning. It gets pretty strategic. It's got exorbitantly priced DLC, but I bought it and
Which I
enjoyed
love.
it. And yeah, it was about, I think my campaign was about 60 hours, 65 hours, something like that.
Nice.
Boy.
What's the second game you playing?
Well, I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem just a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go
Because
ahead.
I love it.
But yeah, I would-
real quick though. This is not the one that has like 100 characters. You guys were complaining about, was it? Was
Chrono
that?
Cross?
That's
Is that a Fire Emblem
we weren't-
game you guys were talking
we
about?
weren't
that had
complaining
bunch
about
of
a game with 100 characters.
You're
100
That's
characters.
Terra Battles.
just goes back to a few podcasts ago. I remember something.
Might be Terra Battle. That's a mobile game.
I don't think we complained about 100
Yeah,
characters in
it
that,
would-
though.
That's one of the coolest parts about that game is
Yeah.
all the characters.
I don't think we complained about Chrono Cross having 100 characters.
we don't have to talk
Okay,
about
wait,
Chrono
wait.
Cross.
Sorry.
Let's go back to Fire
Anyway,
Emblem.
so yeah, so Fire Emblem. I would recommend this game over Awakening to anyone that wants to play a Fire Emblem game. It had Fire Emblem Awakening had decent music, but this had memorable music. So, and it had it flowed really well. It has 2 dueling it's one campaign, but it has 2 different characters you switch between. So it's got, you basically play through 2 stories. That intersect with each other at different points, but you don't have to play the game twice where it's like, oh, campaign 1, campaign 2.
That's cool. I hate doing
Yeah,
that.
Did
exactly.
the music get the Donna purchase, though?
Not yet, but it will.
Oh, okay.
I
You
haven't
think
looked. I haven't looked to see
But
if
you
I
think
can
it's, like,
find
that
it.
good? That's
yeah,
worth buying it?
I will buy
Okay.
this soundtrack. I buy a lot of video game soundtracks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you buy a lot of video game soundtracks.
Well, I don't know.
But
He
but
doesn't
there's-
buy like every
But I don't
video
buy
game
every game
soundtrack.
soundtrack
That's true.
that exists.
That's true.
Anyway, so I've been playing that, and then I also been playing Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh my gosh. Eric, what was the name of that character that we made when we did the beta like 100 years ago?
Gosh.
Like Ursula.
Yeah.
Or something.
You probably are the reason why I can't name my character Ursula the other day.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Wait, you can only name one character?
No,
No,
made
he was just joking.
that was the game I've been playing with Donna. It's been a ton of fun. I picked it up a year and a half ago,
Back
but
to Brian.
I didn't. No, I just wanted to give my. I played
Boo box.
I played it a long time ago, back when they had like dedicated like leveling and stuff, but they changed it. It's really really cool.
What's dedicated leveling?
So all the zones were like, you had to be level 10 to 15 to go to this zone.
As in, like they would lock you out, like there were physical
No,
barriers
you
that kept
die though if you moved
gotcha.
over there. But yeah, Donna got it, so we all jumped on. There's a whole group of us that play, and we got the Morrowind expansion. But I kind of want to hear from you as somebody.
Old.
Yeah, Morrowind's it's dumb. They do old stuff. It should just be new stuff. Sorry about being a total jerk. But anyways,
yourself.
what do you think about it as somebody who just started? Because I've enjoyed a lot of the changes. It's a lot better than when I
it's
first
a lot
played
of
years
fun.
ago.
I remember playing the beta demo and not being very impressed, and just kind of thinking like, why would I want to play this? But now the game feels a lot more tuned. I'm sure there's veteran players that hate everything except for the day one version, but
I hated the day one version.
Yeah, I know.
So bad. It was like a bad WoW and a bad Elder Scrolls game.
That was
combined.
back when it cost money to play, right?
A sub. You had to sub. I think that only lasted for like 6 months though. The subscription.
It was like $13 or something.
Oh, it's 15. It was
Yeah,
normal.
most new MMORPGs try the sub and then ultimately fail.
yeah, except for WoW still has a sub.
WoW still
And
does.
14.
And then 14.
Those are the only two I
Yeah.
can think of. But even WoW has like a free level 1 to 20.
Yeah, 1 to
Yeah.
20.
But yeah, so it feels a lot more like an Elder Scrolls game now, and it seems like it's a game I'd recommend to anyone that just loves spending time in Tamriel.
Yeah.
Because it's actually really fun. There's a lot of soloable content, and I've encountered even today, like just today, I did some quest lines that were really well written.
Oh, cool.
I was really excited. Like I was like, oh man, that was actually really good. And actually, it's kind of like with an MMO, I kind of tend to blow off a lot of that stuff. But in these two quest lines, I'd kind of like blown off the first objective, and then all of a sudden something happened in the plot line where I was like, oh wait a minute,
Oh yeah.
it's kind of interesting. And then I started paying attention. I'm like, wow, I'm like, you have some choice in what happens at the end of these quest lines too, which is kind of interesting.
That's cool. Are they narrated or is it all just text?
All voice acted.
Oh, wow.
Everything's voice acted.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dang.
It's insane. Yeah, the entire game
I
is
thought
voice acted.
Divinity was like a little ambitious when it did that, but can you skip it though if you want to?
You can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can skip through.
Okay, cool.
They have so much voice acting.
So much.
Because
voice
they
acting.
have
Insane.
at least 15 zones, and all the zone, or maybe not 15, but they have 3 for each. So they at least have 12, and then every zone has like a big city with several quest givers.
Yeah.
What level are you, Eric?
23, 24.
What's the cap? 60?
I think it's
50, but then you get champ points.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
like
so there's like a
in-game
whole
content.
like veteran system. Yeah.
Oh,
Diablo
cool.
3, the
Oh,
max, whatever that thing is
Oh, yeah,
called.
yeah.
Same system.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. You can kind of you can explore on your own and do all this stuff. And then there's group dungeons and group things like that. But a lot of the questing you can manage on your own.
You guys played? Oh, sorry.
How
go
hard
ahead.
is it to join up with people?
Pretty
It's-
easy.
It's really easy. Yeah. I mean,
it's-
it's not. I haven't found anything like that makes it as easy as like Final Fantasy 14 in the sense of if you're playing with people you don't know.
Okay.
But as far as like when we want to play together, we're just at an Xbox Live party and it's really simple.
Have you guys played together yet?
We've played
we've
together
played
like
together
3
a
or
bunch.
4 times.
What level are you?
I'm always bad at playing MMOs. I'm level 12.
What class are you?
So this is my 3rd character. So I had a Nord Dragon Knight. So Dragon Knights
Oh,
are
yeah,
kind of like
that's what I
their
played.
DPS
Yeah.
aggressive guy. I'm now an Argonian Knight. What is it called?
Nightblade?
Nightblade, yeah. I'm a Nightblade, like the stealth dude.
Stealth dude?
Yeah, I just want to make a new character because the game is so different from the last time I played it. And this brings me to one thing I want to add real quick is they added this scalability that is insane. Like we...
Yeah, we were talking about how.
Is that an Argonian only feature?
Yeah.
Yes,
But,
the
scale.
scale.
That's actually
Oh.
really, really
Yeah.
good. You got your chops.
Yeah, so somehow it scales and it yet feels equally challenging to everyone. So we have a friend that's like a max level character.
Almost. He's 590 out of 650, but he's
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's champion thing.
Yeah,
you're talking
champion stuff. But he's level 50 and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And he'll run us through dungeons that are scaled and it's somehow like we have another friend that's really weak. He's like level 7, and then my friend, another friend, and myself are in our 20s, and then our other friend is 50. We do these 4-man dungeons, and somehow, you know, it's still challenging for the 50 for our like champion character or friend, but also our like level 7 friend doesn't die in one hit. It's like
That's cool.
It's like
It's
a weird
insane.
thing. We're trying to figure this out. It's like it must be like a percentage scale. So it's like everyone is fighting their own like version of something, but it
Uses
tracks
percentage.
damages in percentages and applies it to the whole or
That's
something.
It
like
also
that.
gives everybody different experience. So if I'm lower and I only get like 11 or whatever, that's what I get. But our friend who's 590 whatever, he gets 4,000 from the same bad guy.
So how would the loot go though?
The loot, everybody
not-
gets their own loot.
Yeah, everyone gets their
Oh,
own
That's
loot.
awesome.
Are you serious?
Yep.
It's really cool.
Even when you're playing with strangers, like there's no sort
Yeah.
of like
Yep.
no
40
No.
people,
everybody
there's 2
gets
items.
loots.
Yeah.
Does it
You're-
award it to you, or do you have to
No,
pick it
no,
up
like
off the
like
body?
monsters, like whatever I see on a drop monster, like
That's
you
just
won't
yours.
see.
It's like
and the same
Elder
monster, the monster
that's
will
awesome.
drop loot for everyone, but each will get their own like instance of it.
Okay, so but do you get loot that you can actually use every single time, or is
Yeah,
it just
it's-
for your class?
no, it's loot that you use, and there's no like class specific loot that I've seen.
There's not really class like you can. There's not class specific gear.
There's light, medium, and heavy, just
Oh,
like
okay,
Elder
just like
Scrolls.
in Elder
Yeah,
Scrolls.
and same with weapons. You can choose to kind of wield it.
But
if
can you
want.
still go into dungeons and like pick things up and do whatever, like sell them? And
Wait, explain that again.
can you still like walk into dungeons and like pick up random objects and then sell them, or how
There's
does that
less-
work?
There's a lot you can loot still, like random things like that. A lot of it goes towards crafting in this game instead,
Yeah.
because there's a pretty like robust crafting system.
I mean, it's not Skyrim where you're gonna walk in and pick up an apple and this and that and this
Go to
and that.
Dren
Well, no, it's
Plantation.
exactly that because
I
I
mean,
pick up apples all the time.
But there are less of those
Josh
things.
is talking about going into someone's house and looting it and then murdering the people who live there
So,
and then selling it all.
it's the
Dark
same.
Brotherhood.
So two things: you can't murder NPCs like you can a normal Elder Scrolls game because that would cause chaos.
Are you sure you can't? Because I had to turn that interaction off in my settings.
You would need them
Murder
right?
NPCs.
Yeah,
like
I
any
could.
character.
Yeah, I had the option to turn it on where I could just attack friendly people.
it probably
but
kills it in your game then.
No, it probably kills it in all, but it probably respawns quick because the respawns are insane on them.
Weird.
Yeah, you're talking about enemies, or you're talking about
No, just anyone.
like
Like,
quest
I
givers.
had to turn on this function that let me not attack.
I didn't
friendlies.
have to do
That
that.
must have been
Really,
like
it was
patched
it was in
out.
my settings. So.
Weird.
Weird. I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, as far as I know, you can't. There's certain there's certain people that you can attack. You can steal from people's houses, but you'll get a bounty just like a normal Elder Scrolls game. if you
Okay,
get
That's
caught
cool,
and
though.
that
You can
kind
still
of
pay off the
stuff.
guards to get
Pay
it
off the
all.
guards. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not like a
nice.
jailing system or
Wait,
anything.
what class are you? I didn't hear that.
I'm a
sorry.
Templar.
Templar. That's like a paladin thing?
Yeah.
Basically,
close as they
yeah, pretty much. Templars their class system is obviously different than every they have like archetypes, but Templar's weird because it's like the best healing class in the game if you play it as like a magic using class.
Oh, you can be a straight like a priest
Yeah.
in WoW or
If you
something
want,
like
yeah.
that. But do you play it as a
I'm-
tank?
Right, I'm not playing it as a tank. So I'm gonna respec as a tank when I get to the end game. But for solo leveling, tank is not a very fun way to go because
Got
you're single purpose.
Right.
So right now I'm like you call it a stamina Templar or a Stamplar. And so I focus on stamina as a stat and like dual wielding and
Okay, so you're a damage dealer,
yeah,
melee.
DPS.
Okay.
But you won't. So you can in the game. The way this game works, I guess it's kind of like any MMO, but with the end game, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You just may not be the best at it. So like a Nord stamina DPS Templar, you can is sort of viable, but it's not like you're not going to be like the number one.
Oh, but if you were a red guard,
If you were like a red guard, like stamina Dragon Knight, you would.
yeah,
That's
okay,
like a. Yeah,
that's a thing. Okay, cool.
exactly.
That's super interesting. I was curious about Elder Scrolls because I just got Xbox Live One. Or sorry, no, wait, gold. I misspoke.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
nice.
but you guys knew what I meant.
Yeah.
So I was curious about it. So I was wondering what it would cost to, be able to play the game with you guys. Like, what do I need to buy?
Right now, depending.
As on today, Monday.
Yeah.
As in, it's over
Cyber
today.
Monday tonight at like midnight. it will
Okay.
end.
Yeah,
I gotta
it would,
go.
It would cost $30.
$30 for the base game, but you'd want to get Morrowind. So it'd be 50 total.
No. You can get the base game with Morrowind.
For
really?
$30?
There's 5 different versions on sale. So
Wow.
there's Tamriel Unlimited, which is on sale for $10. That's just the base game. There's the Tamriel Unlimited Gold, which is the base game plus all the DLC from the first year, which is like the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, Orsinium.
I don't have that stuff.
And yeah. So then there's the Morrowind edition upgrade, which upgrades your base game.
Okay.
And that's $20. Then there's Morrowind, just Morrowind, that includes the base game, and it's $30, which is the same price as buying the base game and the upgrade.
And then there's the one that includes everything that you just mentioned.
So no, there isn't one that includes literally everything. There's to get it on, so $50 to get everything that's on sale without having to pay, without buying like the version that comes with costumes and like extra mounts and stuff.
But to get the gold content.
So the gold content is 30, so it's the base game plus 20, and then the Morrowind upgrade is 20, so it'd be 50.
Got it.
Which is super worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're gonna play that game
yeah,
for
exactly.
How many expansions are there right now besides Morrowind?
So there's only one expansion, but DLC in this game is considered differently than expansions. So expansions are like a big huge thing, kind of like a new, and the DLC is like modules essentially. So it's like the quests? Thieves Guild, or like accessing like the Orc Zone or Orsinium or Orzamer or whatever. Like that kind of stuff falls under DLC. It's like dungeons and things like that. And those packs are usually like $4 to $10 or something like that. Or you can buy them all for like $20 or something like that.
Not bad.
Yeah. They also have it so that if you subscribe to Elder Scrolls Online, then you don't have to pay for any DLC. You just have it all access.
How much is that?
15. It's like a normal.
Oh, like the normal
like
sub.
A normal, yeah.
So it's like a Patreon.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
Of Elder Scrolls.
But yeah, and there's other benefits to it too. But so yeah, to get everything that we all have would be 50. To get everything you need just to play would be 30. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cheap actually.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess real quick, I'll talk about what I'm playing. So playing the WoW, like I was mentioning last week.
Wow.
I know, right? I rekindled my love affair with my druid Musaya, who's a Tauren.
Did you name him that?
I did.
Messiah?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
The chosen Juan.
So
I'm a druid playing tank. It actually, leveling up as a tank in WoW is the easiest thing you can do because you are always queued up for a dungeon group. And you can basically, if you wanted to, you can level up 1 to 100 pretty much just doing dungeons if you were so inclined. And you get, as a tank or a healer, you get groups in like less than a minute.
Wait, level 1 though?
Not level 1.
Okay.
I was being a little...
What's it, like 10 to 20? Okay.
It's 15 is when it starts. So you can start doing the random dungeon queue at 15. So I basically, like all quests, do like 2 or 3 quests, get bored of it, and then go do my professions for a little bit, and then just do dungeon and then get 5 levels. I'll do 2 dungeon runs and just... It's actually really cool. Anyway, so playing my mage. Mage is like level 25 or 30 now. It's super easily leveling. It's really fun. And then I picked up a super random game. I was at my parents' house just like fooling around, and I saw my little brother's Forza Horizon and grabbed that. So
you didn't take it to college with him?
He's actually home right now, but he's already beat it. So he just let me borrow it. Yeah.
So did you get to turn it on?
I did, yeah. No, it's cool.
Do you like the mechanic of having to drive to different races?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Tell us about the mechanics in that game.
The mechanics, they're
hot.
good. They're reliable. They're trustworthy. They know what noises mean when I make the little car noises. No, I was kidding. Yeah, I like that mechanic. It's I think it's kind of fun. Although the plot is the stupidest thing I've ever been exposed to in my whole life. I was like laughing out loud when they were trying to tell me, like, give me some exposition on what's going on. Do you know the plot of it, Eric?
Horizon 3, no.
Okay, so...
I didn't realize there was a plot besides racing.
Big plot,
right? Is that the one
What?
with the Fast and the Furious DLC?
You explain it.
Yeah, you should just get the Fast and the Furious version of that.
Basically is Fast and the Furious. I don't even need to paraphrase. So you kind of like start in Australia, and there's like this really like hot Scottish or Irish girl, and she's like narrating the whole thing for you, and it just shows all these like really cool tight boys like in their own various type of tight car, like there's really rad trucks and like rad dune buggies and like exotics and classy BMWs, and they're all like doing their cool thing, and they're all like saying various rad things about Australia, like, oh, this is the place from down under. It's more like the place that's blown over. And they're like saying like just rad stuff like that.
Nice.
So you guys are all working for this rad boss to get everyone in Australia excited for a sweet car festival. And you pick a drivatar, which is like a cast of like 12 characters of the coolest type. I picked a character named Dave. So every
Real original.
And it's really funny because the characters' names, you can pick like from a selection of names that the computer can recognize, and they'll call you that name when they're talking to you. So it's like, hello, Dave, like, how are you? And it's funny because my name is Dave. Anyways.
Wait, why is it funny?
Well, my name
That's
is
in
technically
Fallout 4 too, though.
Oh,
You know,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Do they do that in Fallout 4?
Yeah. If your name is like, if you spelled your name with a C instead of a K, they would say your name.
Oh, that's
They say my name
They
too.
pronounce your name?
Yeah,
You
the
should
robot
replay
has
it.
like
Oh, that's rad.
the robot probably has. I want to say like it's 900 names he knows how to say. So once you
Yeah.
type in your name, it's pretty cool.
It's the butler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
robot
crazy
pilot.
that they can't tell the difference between Eric with a C and with a K.
Is this
I
not?
don't
Is
know.
it's not smart? It's just
I mean,
like someone entered it in.
Did it not say your name? It might have.
I've never heard it say my
Oh,
name.
okay, then it probably
I also
didn't read it.
just didn't get hooked into Fallout
Okay,
4 like I was hoping I would.
well, it says it
so.
right at the beginning,
'cause it
so
didn't
you
have
would have
Liam
heard it
Neeson.
like
Yeah.
in the beginning of the right after you make your guy. First thing he walks in and says,
or girl.
Hey.
Net neutrality.
"Oh,
right?
sorry, net neutrality," which is totally the same.
So have you done any of like the side stuff yet? Like where you go and look for cars and
Yeah.
barns and
Oh no, I haven't done any of that yet. I've just been kind of focusing on like the real serious stuff, the main campaign, getting my fans, getting my recognition, getting my name out there.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
your DJs,
Getting
and
my
getting all
DJs.
your-
I have signed a couple record labels. I signed Block Party. It's like 90s like R&B. It's just like
Is this
Tupac.
serious?
Yeah, it is. And then the other label I signed
What
was
is
like
it? I don't understand this game.
dude, okay. Okay, wait. I was in the middle of explaining it and I lost track of it. Lost racetrack.
Ooh, lost train tracks.
Lost train. It's a train
Waiting for
track.
Forza-
simulator.
Waiting for Forza Horizon 3 Train Edition.
Bullet
You're on
trains.
separate train tracks, and you have to race against other trains.
But here's the catch: you're all the same speed.
or train races, but all on the same track.
It's a Thomas the Tank Engine sponsored event
Yeah.
too. It's licensed IP. Okay, so in the game you try to get people to come to the big car festival, and so you do it by like challenging other racers and like signing record labels and hiring personalities and like doing crazy stunts. It's really dumb. But amazing. And so you can sign the record labels of the DJs who are going to perform at the festival. And I signed the 90s R&B rock group called Block Party or Rock Station. And then I also signed an Indian's tribal music.
Indian guy. You signed one Indian.
Native Americans. What's
Guys, I'm 2% Cherokee, so it's okay for me to say that. Just so you know. I went on that website that South Park talks about.
Did they get the butt sample from you?
Yeah, I had to hire. Anyways, okay, so yeah, it's a great fun game. It's like the racing is actually really challenging. It's not like a Need for Speed game or an older Need for Speed game that you have to really do the challenging. And like the rewind feature is actually pretty cool.
You can like play, and then if you make a mistake, just
Yeah.
rewind. Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, that's in regular Forza.
That's like
It's
the
also
best
in
thing
Prince of
about
Persia,
Forza.
one of the coolest Prince of Persia games.
the only cool Prince of Persia game.
That is a really cool
Yeah,
game. The
I know.
first one on Xbox was good too.
Sorry
Sorry,
Prince,
about
Prince of Forza, is that what?
Prince of
Prince
Forza.
of Forza.
Sorry, I
Okay,
just
yeah.
thought about that game, and that game is so cool.
Which you can wear Assassin's Creed
With
costumes,
cigarettes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I don't know if I'm gonna play it to completion, but it's actually super fun to just kind of like grab a beer and zone out and get my fans.
I am really interested in the Fast and Furious standalone for Horizon.
I don't think it's standalone.
It is
No,
standalone.
really?
It's
Oh,
not
I thought you
DLC,
had to
it's
own
just
two.
that
It is DLC, but it's standalone.
DLZ.
Download
DLC.
zone. That's what I like to do.
No, I'm pretty sure it's standalone because
Really?
I remember like
Okay.
I remember when it was like $5, like hovering over it like 1,000 times.
Dude,
Like,
what
Should I buy that?
We
to
gotta get it.
support?
Doesn't it seem like each like new racing game has some kind of Fast and the Furious?
I
Like,
heard the new Need for Speed
Josh,
is
no one
literally
plays
the
racing
exact
games.
Payback?
same.
well, I mean,
Yeah, the brand new one is like this. Like you're trying to get items from trucks.
For what?
The new Need for Speed. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the story of
and
Fast
the,
and Furious.
The main guy's name is Roderick Fedetto.
Yeah, it's a raw pud.
And it's also like a
Or no, sorry, raw Walkerson.
raw pud. Yeah, Paul Rudd is in it.
I'm waiting for the new Fast and Furious starring Paul Rudd.
Oh, that would be the best.
Dude, that'd be really funny. And it's directed by the guys who do They Came Together and Wet Hot.
Paul Rudd, we know you're listening right now.
Jobin.
Please star in the next Fast and Furious movie. We want it so bad.
A lot of important work to do. All right, guys, that was a real quick chat. So let's take a quick breaky poo.
Hey everyone, venture into the pop culture cosmos today, where you'll hear our conversations on different topics within the world of movies, TV, video games, comic books, technology, board gaming, and more. You'll also get a taste of some of our other shows within the cosmos as well. So come on and join us each week as we delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back.
Vegetable stock.
Vegetable stock. I'm more of a bean
stock.
bone broth guy.
I like beanstalk.
That's a good way to find giants.
Yeah, you got it. Nursery rhymes, man. I'll get you.
Brian loved
And
that
real
joke.
stuff.
Brian, if you know anything about Brank, he loves jokes about beans and big guys.
If there's flatulence in large men, I find it hilarious.
There you go. Okay, let's do a real quick stocky corner. Okay, real fast. NT Doi, aka Nintendo, they're at $53.44, all-time high, up another 1.69%. Really huge for them. It's them Switch sales, and it's also 15 million downloads of Animal Crossing on mobile.
Did you say that you personally though have like some type of interest in them at this thing?
Not at the moment. So I put a trade or request in with my broker to buy at $50. So if and when the stock somehow manages to dip from net neutrality or from whatever, I'll be able to get it at $50. Assuming that the stock the Nintendo stock responds to that and goes down. There's a chance that it could keep going up, in which case I'll never buy it.
Yeah.
But I have like a reserve basically on that dollar amount.
What was the low point with the Wii U? Do you know?
The Wii U?
Yeah.
Like what was their stock? I mean,
Yeah.
you can look back a year from now. Let's see. What
I was
the
just
stock
curious because like I'm wondering if you buy this at 50, like they're like kind of riding on a wave of success recently. So
So I mean, okay. So for one, the market has gone up like drastically since the beginning of Trump's administration. Like the stock market itself has just increased by a lot. Thanks, Obama. But if you look at the stock for Nintendo from a year ago today, January. What is today?
Today is November 2017. November
27th.
Okay, so a year ago today, it traded at $31.18.
Wow.
In January of in January of last year, January 2016, it was at $15. Now it is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, Nintendo has gone crazy since then, and it's going up.
I feel
a lot
like an
more.
idiot now, not buying stocks at $15.
Well, I mean, you just you don't know about that kind of stuff.
But
so,
I mean, $15 is pretty bad. So
it was mega cheap. That's what Ubisoft is at now. So
$15?
Yeah, Ubisoft trades. We're gonna talk about it today.
Okay.
But they closed at 1641. And they
might be worth buying because when Vivendi does a takeover, will it increase the stock price?
Vivendi. You think Vivendi's gonna own Ubisoft one day?
I mean, we've all talked about this on there. They've been like gunning for him.
Not this year.
Yeah, not this year, but they're gonna.
They have a month left.
They bought. Do you guys remember that mobile publisher, Gameloft? Mm-hmm. The owner of Eve's, whatever his name, Eve's Guillermo. That's his brothers. They bought them up.
Yeah.
I think that those pesky Templars are going to get in the way of anything Ubisoft related.
Sturgo. I wonder if it would be funny if like they changed the bad guy to Vivendi somehow. They changed some of them in all the games.
That would create a potential liability for product disparagement. So that could be dangerous too.
Level 10 power sword.
Wrong, nerd. Are these Elder Scrolls Templars or are these different type of Templars?
No, Templars are like the underlying bad guy of Assassin's Creed.
Oh, because I thought
Assassins versus Templars.
I thought you were talking about the Order within Dragon Age. Oh, that's EA. Like I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Whoa! We got a lot of bad will towards them. Come on.
Yeah, we will have to get to EA soon.
Well, we'll talk about EA right here. Activision Blizz though was at 65.74.
How are they sustaining that? That's crazy.
They've been at this for a while.
It's Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's. I mean, because it's
yeah.
Activision Blizzard, so like,
Yeah.
you know, Blizzard is extremely profitable. They've actually had some good sort of like analyst coverage lately, which kind of keeps them floating. They were down for the day, not by a whole lot, but I think Activision though is one of those companies that's just, you know, governed by analyst
devil.
points of view.
They're under fire. Well, Bungie's under fire this week.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that in the news.
Okay.
'Cause that's unless you want it. Should we talk about that?
No,
Okay.
let's do these.
EA, they're at 106.99. They were down, I think, 0.88%.
How on earth are they still in the $100 range?
Okay,
Like,
wait. So real quick. It's about like the value of the stock doesn't, like, you can't compare these values of the stock to each other. So like you can't say EA is a better company because it's at 106 versus Ubisoft because it's at 1641. It's about like the size of the company. It's about what the value of each share of the company is, how many shares the company has released into the market. There's a bunch of different factors. So it's not really a comparison amongst these apples. These aren't apples to apples comparisons. It's more like apples to oranges. And you have to look at the value of the stock.
So all of them are oranges and one's an apple.
You have to look at it from the percentages and how much.
Farming podcast?
This is a farming podcast. It's honeydew, whatever.
Farm simulator.
Farm sim. Anyways, goat sim. You look at the percentages of growth against itself, like how much it's grown in the last year. Like we looked at Nintendo, it's exploded since last year. And then you also look at how much growth it had per day, per quarter, per year amongst the stocks. So stocks that are growing at a higher percentage are more valuable than stocks that aren't. Not necessarily, oh, well, Activision's worth $65, so it's less valuable than, you know, EA. I mean, by and large, it's less valuable because it's like $65 versus $100, but it's more like the commodity as opposed to the actual dollar value. Sorry. Anyways, so Ubisoft we already talked about. And Take-Two, they're at 117.79. They're down just like by a tiny bit. But anyways, all the stocks are pretty much at all-time highs. Very valuable. If you are planning to invest, I would recommend investing in video games, especially Nintendo, potentially Sony as well. I know we don't cover Sony, but Sony's about to blow up as well. Anyways, that's all I got.
Why do you think Sony's about to blow up?
We talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago, but it has to do with their video game sector and also the chip that's going in their cameras. Yeah.
Oh, I
But I
forgot
don't
that
think-
all of our buddies are trading up.
Yeah, I don't think their video game sector has got anything that's gonna.
I can't imagine it growing anymore. It's already
Yeah.
at 50 million.
This is what
about?
analysts say. This is what like analysts are saying because
Analysts-
it's holidays and because it makes sense. Like that's what analysts are saying.
Yeah.
Analysts are also saying the Nintendo Switch is going to sell more than the Wii, which
Yeah.
is 100 million.
No, I know.
Like it's not going to happen.
This holiday or ever?
No, ever.
It could happen.
It could, but it's like I walked real quick. This is totally like it was called the stories that anecdotal. I walked into a GameStop today. There were about 22 Switches on the shelf that they were selling.
Okay, about 22? Did you count
I didn't count
them?
the amount.
Did you
but
do like a 6 by
there
12
was-
It's like
calculation?
20
Sorry.
and a half.
I should say there were 20. Okay, anyways, there were a lot of Switches there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no,
I think it's a great console. I just don't think it's going to get 100 million.
If you go into Best Buy, sorry, my voice cracked. If you go into Best Buy,
It's
they
okay,
have
Josh.
Don't let it happen again.
I'm like 13 guys. I'm sorry.
Well, Brian's 16. It's okay.
They have displays set up, and they're just big piles of Switches. So I wonder, if it's gonna sell or what's going on.
I experienced something similar. I went to Target, and there were about 22 Switches.
Exactly 22.
and a half.
No, I mean we'll see. It's with the holiday shopping has only just begun. No one's expecting a deal on the Switch, and they already played the scarcity game with it. So
Yeah, I just think it's crazy to expect 100.
Yeah, but the Wii sold that over a couple years. It wasn't like.
But it was like for 2 full years, it was scarce because everybody's grandma was buying it for Wii U or for
This is
Wii
true.
bowling.
We talked about that last week a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I
it's-
just still.
But I
think
don't
it's crazy.
think there's ever going to be a Sony PlayStation 4 is already sold like as much as it's going to sell.
I think we'll sell 60, but I mean
Yeah.
that's gonna be like over a couple more years. But it's not gonna like everybody's not gunning for one today.
Yeah.
Like
Anyways, that's what analysts say. That's my stock corner. We can move on. All right, who is gonna tell me about Gazillion? We talked about Gazillion Marvel
We
Heroes.
did, but a
there's
lot
an
of
update.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
what about
actually
DLC?
some update.
Tell us about it.
So since last Monday when we talked about it, 2 really, really sad, terrible things happened. I just love bringing depressing stuff to this podcast.
You're sick.
The first one was the day before Thanksgiving. They fired all their staff without paid time off and severance. So
Gross.
everybody essentially lost their jobs when they were expected to keep them till the end of the year.
So they didn't know this was coming. It's just a.
Well, they knew it was coming, but they thought it was going to be at the end of December.
Oh.
The game was not supposed to end. And then the new news came today. The game just ended. So it was also supposed to stay till the end of December, but it's done.
Real quick,
All the servers shut off.
They fired everybody without severance?
Yeah.
How is that okay?
I don't
Were
know.
these all
but
independent contractors?
this is just what I've read from the people who I follow.
From
who,
People
like,
Magazine.
From People Magazine. No, there's another video
The
game
servers
podcast.
were active yesterday, right?
What?
The servers were active yesterday, right?
Yeah,
So
they
theoretically,
closed
you could have
today.
spent money on it yesterday.
Yes, you could have
Wow.
spent money on it yesterday, and you would lose all your money.
Who would be okay? Anyways,
Yeah, I mean, people would be. I don't think anyone bought it yesterday, but people bought it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they
Wow.
lost all their money. So,
sucky.
and it's. I want to say it was like they had packs for $60, right?
More than that, man.
Yeah, they had like a lot of very expensive packs because it was like $6 a character. So
It was like $4 to $10 a character.
yeah, so it was, and then there were also blind boxes to get different armor and equipment, cosmetic loot. It's a bummer. There's a guy who does a video game podcast similar to ours, Rebel FM, and Anthony Gallegos, and I mentioned him last week too. But it was just a bummer to read. He lost his job, lost all of his paid time off, lost his insurance. They cut that off on Friday last week.
I don't think this is legal because there's stuff like
I just don't think 5 people would say something and they wouldn't stop
the
it
company
without it being.
is shuttering, right? Like there's
Yeah,
not, it's not
Disney
gonna
said
exist.
it's done, so they're done. They're like a company that had the license, and they're done.
okay.
So
No,
they-
I mean, yeah. I don't really know what those contracts say, but this just sounds like either someone is, being hyperbolic on the internet, or it's just straight up illegal because it doesn't sound kosher to me.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine if your company loses all its money, then you don't have to pay everybody, and they can go on unemployment. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but there are certain things in place to keep this sort of thing from happening. But
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. We'll get to legal stuff soon, but I just want to bring that up because it was a bum.
no,
A lot
it's a
of
total
litigation
bum.
coming up for you listeners.
Yeah, a lot. We're gonna be reading the pleadings tonight and in
We're just
great
reading
detail.
law books, just pure,
Okay.
just
I have some.
unadulterated law books.
Unadulterated
Some law blogs.
law blogs.
Law blogs.
Law
Blah
blogs.
blah blah blah.
All right, let's talk D2. Destiny
Yeah.
2.
Okay, so Bungie is under fire this week because in Destiny 2, it's a little complicated, but basically they released some type of event and players discovered that their experience bars were getting slow.
It's crazy.
And they found out that it was intentional.
What?
That Activision was nerfing their experience based so that they would spend more money.
It doesn't surprise me, man. That is.
Are there loot boxes?
There are loot
Yeah,
boxes.
Like it's all loot boxes.
That's
there's
gross.
when reading this article, I actually discovered something that was really funny. Is that there's because they tried to make it, they've tried to pass off loot boxes as not a big deal for the game, or as a big deal for the game. I'm trying to remember, but there was something where let me see if I can find this.
It's
here.
mostly cosmetic stuff, though, isn't it? The loot boxes.
Let's see.
I think for Destiny it is, yes.
Yeah.
But it's still once you get to the end, there's
it's rewarding. It's supposed to be rewarding, and I guess last week when the first downloadable content, Curse of Osiris,
Yeah.
the community manager promised that it would be the most rewarding thing in the game yet for players, and he opened up a loot box to receive 2 tokens and a common blue engram, so basically nothing.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah, and so it started a hashtag 2 tokens and a blue. But yeah, so let me read a description of this basically.
Wait, who are we reading from? We should give credit to the.
I'm reading this from Kotaku. It's
Okay.
the most succinct. So
I guess we should probably say if we don't mention it, it's probably Kotaku.
we're just the Kotaku leech. Leechcast.
We love
Leech
you, Jason.
Cats, yes.
In the new year, we'll try to I'll try to get
talk to Jason because that book is so good. I haven't mentioned it for a while, but his book, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Oh yeah,
I've been reading it still.
you should do a review, a Jake style review.
Of Dracula.
Is that also by Mary Shelley?
I could do a review of Dracula. I read it recently.
So they discovered players discovered that Bungie's experience system was rigged against them. And then on Saturday, they found that their experience sliders were moving more slowly. And so the studio tweet sent out says, the Destiny 2 API has yet to be adjusted to reflect the recent in-game change to earned XP. We are working on an API update to address the discrepancy. The correct value to earn an additional level is 160,000, blah, 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 blah. And before it was 80,000, so they doubled it. So it's just been like a sketchy system, and it's kind of like Battlefront 2 where people are pissed and the company has no idea what to do because they basically did this to themselves by trying to be greedy. So
Good.
We've got a ton of Battlefront 2's talk tonight.
That's not in the news.
This is just really cool though. Like it's just so funny. Like all of this EA stuff just blew up literally last week and the week before, and then companies like Activision are like, oh, let's just try it out.
Yeah. Well, no, the loot boxes stuff has been in there for a while. I think they've just been changing their XP grind. Is the problem because
everyone calls it Destiny style gaming. Like when it first became a problem, they're calling it Destiny style gaming.
yeah, I think it sounds like basically that the problem is that they've made it so that your experience bar slows to a crawl unless you're buying stuff.
and that's ridiculous. That is crazy that they're doing that.
I went over to a buddy's house over the weekend, and he's a big Destiny 2 guy. And he had like nothing but positive things to say about it. So I don't know. Like
I have buddies who like it, but everybody fell off early this time because I guess there's just not as much content.
No, he's still playing. He's like totally into it.
Is he max level though? With all,
he's max level.
The gear?
Yeah, I don't know about the gear, but he's got like 3 characters. He has all 3 characters, and they're all max level. And he just thinks it's like the funnest game. It looked really cool. It's not ever a game that I would be interested in, but he says it's super fun. I don't know. He didn't have any negative things to say about it.
That's interesting. Yeah. So this a lot of this stuff is coming out, I guess, and it is for high level players that it's becoming a problem.
But if he was already leveled, he wouldn't have experienced the.
Well, no, he would because I think it's your post leveling.
Yeah. There's like light level is mainly done by gear, but you can level up your gear. I think it's something where like that.
Yeah, I don't play it, so I don't really understand.
Level up your abilities as well. It's just from what I understand, like they're releasing a DLC soon in December.
Yeah.
But they just don't have a lot of content compared to Destiny 1, where like they're doling out tons of gear, which is great. But you can't, like, there's nothing left for people to do. So there's only, like, microtransactions to buy a cosmetic loot.
So there's no incentive to play after you do all of
right now,
PvP.
Maybe there's no monthly subscription, so I don't think people... It's weird to that XP thing. It's weird that they did that.
Well,
like, they shouldn't do that.
People will come back, though. If there's no subscription, there's nothing lost by stopping to play for a little while for the new DLC to come out, I guess.
The main point is it's funny seeing companies come under fire so much recently, and we'll see how they actually fix these problems because so far no one really has.
Right. Speaking of which, Josh, do you want to tell us a little about Battlefront 2?
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't. What is going on with Battlefront 2?
Colin?
Colin. No, this is so honest. This is a kind of a side note to that topic. Was that we kind of talked about this before, how video game prices are becoming unsustainable, and we're going over like PlayStation during that era, the games were like $40, and then Super Nintendo
50 for PlayStation.
Yeah, and then Nintendo 64 had like what they were
between 60 and 70, but games could choose their own prices.
Yeah. Okay. So Colin Moriarty had actually brought in the wake of the he was formerly of the Kind of Funny. Now he's got his own thing going, but in the wake of the Battlefront 2 problem, he was talking about how this model is unsustainable because as games get better and they look better, they start costing more money to make.
What is the model he's talking about?
He's talking about, well, we talked about this actually during the summer, and we've talked about before earlier in the year. Games have never increased their price.
Right.
In the last decade they have.
Yeah.
Even analysts are saying that kind of stuff.
They're stuck at the $60 point. And so like that's why this like loot boxes and microtransactions has become like a
necessity for the company.
Yeah. So we're going to reach a point here where these games are going to cost so much money to make that selling them at $60 per unit is not going to make them any money. So that's created this huge problem. And how much longer is it going to be till we either, they're forced to raise prices, or they get to the point where they can't afford to keep making, like, improving the product and making it look better.
Well, I think there's a couple things just kind of, and I'm not an analyst, so I can't, really say this from a business sense, but just from a logic sense. The problem is that the problem is the AAA model is what needs to sort of die and adjust in a lot of ways, because we're talking about like big experience games, like we're talking about games that have production values in the hundreds of millions or whatever, how much it costs to make, like Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. These these big cinematic, like graphic powerhouse games that are also vying for your time, because that's the thing, is that to sell a game that like everyone's going to buy, not everyone's going to buy every big game, especially if they start taking longer and longer to make, but also longer and longer to play.
That's like your Halos and Final Fantasy.
See, Halos are great because they're 10 hours long, and then there's multiplayer. So that's the thing.
Caliber, like that level of game.
Yeah. And you could start charging a higher price point for games, but even still, if every game is now trying to be an open world 100-hour game, like, people are going to realize they should just pick one and not waste their money on all of them, because they're not.
That's why games are becoming services,
exactly.
Because everybody's just choosing 2 games a year to play, and it's crazy.
The indie model is good, though.
The indie model is good, and that's why these like the AAA companies should take a hint and like maybe focus on experiences that aren't
crazy, huge, long things.
Yeah, because you can make a game that looks graphically great that doesn't have to be.
Yeah, well, look at Hellblade. Like Ninja Theory, like that cost them like a fraction of what a big AAA game.
It was $30 too. It's reasonable.
I read an interview with Yoko Taro, the guy from Nier and Drakengard fame, the super weird Japanese guy, and he actually brought up an interesting point, because people asked him, because the first Nier was a flop, even though it's like critically or like cult loved, it wasn't like a seller, and he said that right now, because there's basically this like the same gap between, I didn't really go into this, but so there's basically like a massive divide between indie games and then AAA games, and that's it right now. So now these like kind of like mid-tier games, like Japanese games that are like kind of like long RPGs, but they're not necessarily like AAAs, or like they're kind of like those kind of games. He said there's like room for them now in the market, because all the big companies are just focusing on sinking into these massive projects. It's
so funny, because the big companies, they have all of these assets of mid-sized gaming companies that they've acquired just throughout their life cycles, and all they would need to do is just re-empower those individual acquisitions and be like, hey, go do what you do, we'll fund you. And they'll do it at half the price.
Unless you're EA.
Well, I'm just saying, but they could. They have the ability to do this.
That's the thing, is that there's this expectation for like every acquisition of a big company to make a AAA game.
Which is unrealistic. And,
exactly.
And they're learning their lesson, I think.
Yeah, it's not only unrealistic, but it's unwanted, I think.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
And it's disrespectful to the games that these people that we're waiting for
to
play.
Two things though, real quick, is like some of the big publishers like Ubisoft are doing that. Like recently this week, I don't know if you guys got to play Grow Home or Grow Up. It was like
Gone Home.
Yeah, it was, no, Gone Home. Grow Home and Grow Up, they're like a platformer. They were $8 when each of them released. Ubisoft actually is the publisher, and they let their team just kind of make these games. They just did a game that's based on sound that just came out this week.
Well, we already discussed on the way here that of all the big companies, Ubisoft is the least evil.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They
still
do
like privately owned partially.
Yeah, they're like a family-owned type thing.
Yeah.
For now.
But yeah, it's really interesting though, like that all this stuff is happening. But I just want to bring up that companies do allow that. It's very, very rare. But the other thing I want to bring up that's kind of off topic is Yoko Taro. People really, really want him to do the next Final Fantasy because he's making interesting games. I haven't beaten Nier Automata, but from what I understand, the game he made is just interesting on a story level and a gameplay level. And he did a lot of really unique concepts with saves and all types of stuff.
Yeah. That's that. I've heard that too. But yeah, so I think that's kind of what would be great is if the best case scenario, if the price point of game goes up, it would be nice if what that meant was like companies giving us like really good polished products that we can play and then play something else instead of like, well, here's this like microtransaction like freemium system to like keep you coming back so that you only play this game forever.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have stuff to add about Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I don't even know if we talked about this last Monday, but they literally had to call back the microtransactions.
We did talk about that.
And we talked about the governors, too.
Oh, we didn't talk about the governor.
Or the governor of Hawaii, like how they're looking at legislation against loot boxes because of Battlefront 2.
So is some other country.
I think-
Yeah,
I
it's
think the UK is-
Belgium.
Yeah, because
It's
it constitutes
Belgium.
because it constitutes
Gambling.
Gambling.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah.
games are targeted at minors.
Yeah.
Like they're like in the UK, it's PEGI 12.
Right.
Here it's teen, which is 13 up. But it's still, the idea is like, you are trying to get
And
people.
who is Peggy 12?
Who is PEGI 12?
And where did the first 11 Peggies go?
PEGI 12. But no, it's crazy. It's crazy to think like companies are so clueless and they're trying to find a way to make that money.
Also, did you know that Peggy is short for Margaret?
No.
Peggy-
Are you
is it
serious?
really?
Because I looked that up one day. I'm like, what is Peggy from?
No,
Yeah.
that can't be.
Weird.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is that like?
It's Mark Batstone's fact check corner.
Is that like how Bill is William, which doesn't make sense at all?
That makes
either?
more sense than Peggy and Margaret.
I think all of it's just stuff like we've grown accustomed to, and it's like, why is this Bill and William?
Yeah, so Daisy and Peggy are both short for Margaret because in Daisy, the word for Daisy in French is Marguerite. And for Peggy, well, Margaret was shorted to nicknames like Meg or Meggie, and then the rhyming nickname trend turned Meggie into Peggy.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Bill
Peggy
and
12.
Dick.
Who's gonna
Or
talk to
Robert
me?
and Dick.
What lawyer at the table is gonna talk to me about the Fortnite lawsuit?
Self-conversation
Jank, did you
corner.
You read a little bit about this? I read it.
Yeah,
I read
I
about it a
don't
while
know
ago, but
anything
I don't
about it.
remember all the bullet points.
I actually have some bullet points here. Okay,
Shoot
so
us with them.
what happened was this kid was selling, allegedly selling cheats to Fortnite.
And Fortnite Battlegrounds, the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds mod,
Yeah.
like type clone.
And the argument is that allegedly he did not change any of the code, but he purchased these cheats from another website. So here, his mom actually is going to bat for him, and
Yeah, because Epic's suing them.
Yeah, Epic is suing them, and she's defending her son, and they,
As mothers do.
courtesy of Kotaku, we have these bullet points here. So the first one is she says that Fortnite's teams require parental
Let's
consent.
talk about Fortnite for a second.
Fortnite.
Because now that's
This
the
is,
wrong way to say it.
Forza,
And frankly, it's embarrassing.
Forza Nights.
Forza Nights. She says that Fortnite's teams require parental consent for minors and that she never gave this consent. She says the case is based on a loss of profits, but argues that it's free-to-play video game and that in order
is
to
free-to-play.
prove a loss, Epic would need to provide a statement certifying that Rogers' cheating directly caused a mass profit loss. She claims that by going after individual players rather than the website, providing the software necessary to cheat is in an online game, Epic is using a 14-year-old child as a scapegoat.
Now, I don't know much about modern day profits, but it sounds like we're going to need to hop in the Animus to get back to ancient times where there was lots of profits.
Sturgo, are you listening?
The minor profits.
She claims that her son did not, as Epic allege, help create the cheat software, but simply downloaded it as a user, and that Epic has no capability of proving any form of modification. And finally, the mother says that by releasing her son's name publicly in conjunction with the move that Epic has violated Delaware laws related to the release of information on minors.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
No, she said it sounds like she has a good lawyer. And it sounds like Epic is going to face a publicity nightmare. If this goes in front of a jury, they are going to be shooting their feet, basically.
This goes to another point, though. Do you think that there's a 14-year-old out there who is smart enough to rewrite a game's code?
I'm sure there is,
Totally.
but
Wait,
it's
Epic is Fortnite?
yeah, Epic is.
I thought it was Cliff Bleszinski leaving Epic made Fortnite. What's his
No,
game?
no. His
Yeah,
company is
Lawbreakers, right?
Lawbreaker. Yeah, he made Lawbreakers. I don't remember his company.
such a fitting
People Can
name.
Fly. I think it's People Can Fly.
Okay.
But no, Epic, it's crazy because Epic is actually the engine that PlayerUnknown's Battleground uses. So they license it to PlayerUnknown's Battleground. So some people are kind of upset because they think that Epic stole all the knowledge that they gained from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds when they called in for hey, how do I do 1 versus 1 or every man for himself in 100 people battle matches. So they have a lot of stuff going on, but I love how they're trying to sue a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Does that really violate laws to have releasing a 14-year-old's name? Is that a huge deal, or is that
That's a state to state thing. Yeah. She's going to try to say, or the attorney's going to try to say for the family that is the violation of his privacy,
right?
Basically, but I think they're going to be able to say, when you interact in this way, you are
He posted on
foregoing-
YouTube, by the way, too.
Yeah,
so
you're
he-
foregoing your rights of privacy. You're engaging in this way. You have consented implicitly to get rid of your rights of privacy.
Sorry for one more cuss, but the kid's a little shit. Like, they
Is he?
contacted him on YouTube and told him to take down a video where he was selling the cheat, and he decided not to.
So he's
okay,
like,
well-
There's
it's-
already proof he's doing it. Then.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the kid. I mean, he doesn't deserve to get probably sued for whatever they want, but it's
The thing is, though, like the company. Okay, so assuming everything goes great for the company, which it won't, because of the publicity aspect of this, it looks really horrible. In my opinion, it looks really bad. Yeah, the kid might be a brat and like he's doing something illegal. Yes, he definitely is.
But associating yourself with lost profits is bad because they suck. And
suck.
that guy's in prison.
Well, while we have,
That guy's mega in prison,
yeah,
isn't he?
that guy's like eternally in prison.
didn't he kill
there
someone though?
No,
or-
he like tried to arrange to
Yeah. I don't know.
a baby and sexual
it's,
stuff.
It's too much to
Oh,
say.
I
wow.
can't, don't even want to get into it. He's like,
But is there something more than what he's been handed? That's the lyric from that song.
yeah, apparently he's one of those creepy guys too. That's still like he has like women enablers and supporters while he's in prison. He has like write letters with people that are in love with him or whatever, and it's like they overlook that
man.
fact.
Davey 284994449 wrote him such a letter. Just kidding.
while we have Stank Bank here, we were talking about this before you came out here. How serious of an infringement is it to rewrite a code that somebody wrote for a video game?
As serious as it is to rewrite a thing of anything, basically.
Yeah, they own it. It would be like if you rewrote the lyrics to a song and then sold it as your own.
Yeah, basically.
Weird Al is a very respected
Well,
artist.
okay, real quick, there is something called fair use, which is a really gray area legal doctrine for copyright.
If you're at a county fair,
yeah, if you're at-
whatever you
can
want.
use it whenever the
No holds
heck
barred.
you want.
basically, if you are doing something for the sake of parody, education, satire, well,
Weird Al does all of those.
there's four fair uses. I forget what they are, but like minimal use, and then one other one. Anyways, parody is the most common one, like SNL, Weird Al Yankovic. Like you can all get Weird Al actually is like super conservative in what he does, and he always gets legal permission from the artist before making a parody.
It'd be like a privilege to be parodied by Weird Al.
No, exactly. It's good. It's good because most of the time if you're a big Weird Al fan, you will go buy the real song too, just to compare them.
It's like that 30 Rock story or episode where they're trying to get parodied Jenna's song parodied by Weird Al.
I wouldn't know because
Was that the Janny Germ Chomp or whatever, the Jackie Germ Chomp story?
It's, I forget the song.
Muffin Top?
No.
Muffin Top's great, though.
So I think what happens is they write a song and then Weird Al parodies it. So then they want him to not do that. So they write a song that's so ridiculous he won't parody it. It's already funny.
That's interesting though. That's a cool story though about that kid. It's a really interesting choice for that company to go sue a 14-year-old kid. Obviously, they want to make an example of him.
This reminds me of the RIAA.
What's that?
They're the association.
letters.
They're
Okay,
the,
yeah, I've heard of those.
They're the association that deals with records and music. They were the people that went against people when they were pirating music years
like
ago.
on Napster and stuff.
Yeah, and
Metallica?
they chose to try to sue a woman. I guess her son pirated 4 songs, and they wanted her to pay like I can't remember how many millions of dollars, but it was the lawsuit that pretty much stopped them from people thinking like it was worth going after other people for because they chose the worst customer ever to sue. And
It's just so dumb because like, do you really think, even if you do win, do you really think a judge is going to enforce a judgment against some poor little family?
Yeah.
There's some kid downloaded 4 songs. It's just so, I don't know.
is the mom, and she's like, "Oh, my son only downloaded 4 songs."
Yeah.
like to me, what I think is going to happen is the kid is going to have to, if they win, is he's going to have to get rid of all his profits, disgorge all his profits. He's going to take all his websites down, all his YouTube videos down, whatever, and then issue some sort of announcement, and that's going to be the end of it. And in response, he's going to get a bunch of job offers from various companies. When
He wrote the code.
Yeah,
I mean, people are going to be like,
he's a
"Yeah,
little
like
prodigy.
yeah,
here.
he's going to become like somebody in the industry because of all this. And Epic, I don't think, can see that, and they're just going to like make this kid's future basically. That's kind of what I'm predicting.
That's
anyways.
nice of him.
Okay, so I think with that we can jump into our topic of the night, and that is games we bought during Black Friday.
What'd you guys buy?
Who are you looking at? Your head
I'm
is
talking to
going
both
in
of
like
you
Talking
guys.
to the
every
6-pack of
directions,
Ballast
It
Point.
looks like Donna. Tell me what you bought.
Well, I did not buy this.
Tell us everything you did not buy,
But
and then
If you consider the fact that Argonians are often used as slaves in Vardenfell,
what do you know about busty or
Jesus.
lusty Argonians?
It's
Do you
a
know anything,
violence-free game.
do you know anything about that?
I do know a lot about lusty Argonian maids. No, but for Black Friday, I was pretty conservative this year on the video game front.
Did you
Public
go out?
game, nice.
Did you go out and buy stuff, or did you?
Well, no, I bought stuff. I just covered it up so that you couldn't see it. You know,
Yeah.
You posted on Twitter and Instagram, but you couldn't
it's
see
all
it.
censored. Yeah. No, I didn't. I can't drive these days, so you know, I.
Yeah, no, I was just.
Everybody knows.
Wow,
he's
Josh, that's really
I'm
insensitive.
sorry.
have one working leg.
Can we edit that out, guys?
flipping.
But so I just on the Xbox sale, I bought Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm insanely excited for
That's so awesome.
because the first game of that reboot was so flipping good.
Does your TV have HDR?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What kind of question is that?
That game is going to be amazing.
Donna's TV is the size of my garage. It's 5K.
3,000
5K is a
inches.
thing, right?
It's 5K, 3,000 inches. Actually, 8K is a thing.
Wow.
There is 4K and there are 8K TVs out there.
Yeah, did you
already
see
now.
that? Oh, there's 8K TVs already?
Does it
Yes.
give you
I
like
saw that
They're about
video.
10,000.
I saw that video of the
wow.
guy that modded his Witcher 3 to run at 8K, but it's
I
like one frame.
don't even
yeah.
get
Does
why people are doing
Does
that.
it give you laser eye surgery
It
as
also
you watch
gives you
it?
laser eye
Just
surgery.
like-
There's a nurse in your room. Like, you're
Yeah.
paying 10,000. So
Anyway, so for the game sale, I purchased Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm really excited for. Again, just because
It's amazing.
this
You love
series, this reboot of Tomb Raider is like
it's crazy.
It's like everything that I want an Assassin's Creed game to be. Everything that I want, like
It is
so,
Uncharted, but better.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
hey,
Josh,
we
you
saw
gonna stand for
Uncharted.
that?
We saw Uncharted, but it's like, it's kind of not super fun. You're just climbing the whole time.
Yeah, who's
Oh,
fat
wait, let's
Indiana
make
Jones
this.
here?
This
Yeah.
is, I did like Tomb Raider. Like I liked it
Oh, Tomb
more than
Raider's
Uncharted because I
amazing,
thought
man.
that it looked better and it had like a cool
It's
story
also fun
to
to
it, but
play.
it was,
Yeah.
Uncharted
you know,
is primarily story.
Uncharted is one of those games you could play mindlessly, but like Tomb Raider, you actually had to invest your brain power
Yeah.
into it.
How hot is Lara Croft?
So hot.
so hot right now.
Then they extend her neck in every photo with Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like one of those.
So it's like a freaking flamingo.
Friggin' flamingo.
freaking flamingo over there.
Josh, can you put that in the end of all our episodes now after the hurts guy?
Frickin' flamingo
Because of
production
frickin'
company.
flamingo.
Can you do that?
I do that. It's
Can you do that for us?
He can.
Trey?
He'll
won't
just
do
take a voice clip out of this.
I won't do it.
So I bought that. I purchased Elder Scrolls Online, which we already talked about extensively, so we
you
won't
just
talk
rehash
about
all
that.
that?
Minute. Can we
start from the
talk
ground
about
up?
Elder Scrolls Online? I don't know anything
So,
about it.
700 years before.
For Lord of the Rings, there was a place called Tamriel.
Yeah. And then I also bought Banner Saga.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that was cool.
Seven boy.
I actually own it on Steam and have played it a little bit, but I caught Banner Saga 2 really cheap on Xbox One months and months ago, and it's really hard for me to sit at a computer currently, so I wanted to play Banner Saga on my TV instead.
Totes.
That is a good game to buy. I have it on my iPad, but I only played like one mission.
What is
so.
it?
Banner Saga is a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of style game, so
Okay.
it's a grid-based, turn-based RPG where you have units and it's kind of like a strategy
But
game.
it's Norse, right?
But it's kind of done in this like old like Sleeping Beauty-esque Disney art style.
That's really cool.
And it's Norse kind of like Viking.
Mythology.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
What'd you buy?
I bought South Park
Nice.
and
Fractured
Congratulations.
butthole.
Fractured Butt.
Fractured butthole.
I
Was it
bought-
40 or what is it?
It was $35 at Target.
Oh, I thought you said it was 45.
No, I was like, I was trying to remember.
It's
what
40
it
on
was.
on
yeah, it's
Xbox
40
right
on
now.
Xbox.
It was
That's
like
not bad.
37 with tax, but so I got that.
That's not 35. That's what you just told us.
What's up, guys? I'm a liar.
This guy's a liar.
It's a lawyer.
Lawyer. Yeah.
You said allegedly a lot, so
allegedly
you're basically a liar.
Yeah. I got Forza 7.
Oh my gosh.
And I repurchased Skyrim on Xbox One because I never finished it. and I traded in. I can't remember what for.
What are you playing on that?
I am a Norse.
Nord.
Yes, I'm a Nord.
Explicit.
And I
Sorry,
still,
Dave's mom.
I still need to finish the. I left off on the Thieves Guild, and I didn't finish that.
Thieves Guild is cool.
Thieves Guild's
Skyrim.
awesome.
Thieves Guild's cool.
Yeah.
Dark Brotherhood's awesome. Did you do
Yes.
that?
I
already?
finished the Dark Brotherhood,
Yeah.
and then I didn't do the Mages Guild yet.
Man, how'd you not do like? That's the main thing I did was all 4 of those,
Yeah.
and then I did the
Because
main
I
quest
remember
test.
the Mages Guild took a really long time, so I
It's
saved
more
it.
boring.
It's
than
the least
yeah.
fun out of all those.
Yeah, so I still need to go back and finish that, and then
Oh, man, you got to go to the Morrowind Island too.
I want to play it on
Solstheim.
Switch so bad, but no sale.
Dude, so I'm excited to play the expansions again because in my first playthrough on the back when it first came out on
360?
360, the dragon came down and he killed one of the NPCs in the expansion, and I couldn't finish it.
Is that really a thing?
It
like
really-
I didn't-
it was a glitch.
I cannot imagine that.
I know.
they
I
made
would.
a glitch.
I went online, and it turns out there were people who actually were also complaining about that.
And you get anything else?
No, that's it.
I'll tell you what I bought then before.
Wait. What did you buy?
I bought
Guys, it's been like 6 shows since I've done that.
chair from Office Depot. Was hardcore,
About
man.
Stanley's
Wait, you
Variables?
did for reals?
I did. Actually, it was really good. It was
My
good
grandma
price.
bought me an office chair from Office Depot.
Really?
What kind
Was
of
it the
chair is
Harrington
it?
2?
What?
Was it the Harrington 2?
I don't know.
What was
Okay,
it?
well, anyways, I got a Harrington 2.
What was the discount
It
on
was
that baby?
okay. So it was
Is it the mesh backed?
I had looked at it 2 weeks ago, and the guy was like, "Hey, maybe check out our Black Friday sale." It was $150 that week, and so the Black Friday sale they had it for $70
Whoa.
with like setup because you had to normally build the chair, so that's like $12 as well. So it was just $70 all together, and so I got that. I went to GameStop. I picked up Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5, but they didn't have the sealed copy.
What was the cost? That was
So-
on sale for
What's the
like
sealed
$20
copy?
or
It
something.
It was $20, yeah.
The seal copy.
So
It's
you know
Kiss
how
from a
GameStop
Rose
does
edition.
that?
That thing where they open their games.
Yeah, they open all their games and they put stickers on the outside so you can't ever get rid of the stickers.
Yeah.
So I bought that. I returned it today though because I hate those stickers and I just think they're the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then I got my brother-in-law and I did our like Christmas gifts early, so he got Assassin's Creed Origins and that's what I've been playing. And I bought Wolfenstein 2. So we haven't touched it yet. But,
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
But yeah, you get
Nice.
anything, Stankbank?
I did. I bought my little bro Need for Speed Payback Deluxe Edition.
Nice.
And I bought it with, if you subscribe for Xbox Live, you get it like $10 cheaper. So
Yeah.
I signed up for Live for $1 and then bought the game for him.
Wait, so you only have the 1 month Xbox Live Gold?
I do have it on recurring, but I will need to.
It's right now on sale for $50 for the year.
It's $50 for the year.
On Amazon. So
Okay.
it's
on
not
Amazon.
like it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
You can find it occasionally for 40, but that's really rare.
I just don't know if I'd want to play it for the year. I do want to get it because I want my little bros to get Diablo. Do you guys all have Diablo 3?
Yeah, we all have it and we could play it. Well,
What's your game?
Donna
I don't
doesn't
have it yet, but I'm supposed to get it.
Yeah, you are supposed to get
Yeah,
it.
you were
You've been
supposed
supposed
to
to
have
get
it
it
a
for like
while
6
ago.
months.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that.
It disappeared. Nathan, we'll have to bring him on here and
I
make him
don't
explain
have it.
himself.
You don't have Diablo 3?
I didn't know you guys were all
Often on
playing.
sale for like $20.
If you guys
But
are all playing, I'll
if
buy
you
it.
get Elder Scrolls Online, then we can all play that.
So
which
is
is
your
also really
what's
fun.
your gamer tag? Stankbank69.
No, it's 96.
420, 69, XX.
It's
have
it's
to
the
take a-
center sun.
We're going to have to take a breaky poo. Are we going to finish this bad boy?
Yes, okay. Moderator number 2 over here.
Yeah,
I'm
jeez.
not trying to moderate. I'm trying to.
He's moderating the
Moderating the
moderation.
dragon.
I'm just trying to have fun. I don't know. I guess this is.
Sometimes you got to break the dragon outside, okay? So
That's
Okay.
the part
what
where
that means.
we're
Okay.
muting Brian.
All right. Anyways, so guys, the big unveiling of your life is I bought a nin. That's it. I bought a nin. I bought a Switch.
Really?
Yeah,
Really though?
Yeah, I bought it, and my mommy's gonna give it to me for Christmas.
Oh, really?
But,
That's awesome,
it's in
dude.
my room right now. I haven't set it up
What
yet.
games you get?
I didn't get any games yet because I wasn't sure if I was gonna keep it. I just saw it and I wanted to just have it. And
You
then,
should.
Yeah. So I wanted to just get it in case it somehow becomes scarce again in the next few weeks.
I feel like
I
that's
thought
like
gold was your thing.
That's
Sorry to
like
cut you off.
70
Nope, I duped you.
70% of Switch owners probably own that because they thought that it was going to be scarce and then they opened it.
It is
I haven't
so good,
opened mine
man.
yet.
Those
I haven't
flipping
opened
people
mine
are
yet.
idiots if they bought it and said, "Oh, I'm not gonna open it."
I bought mine originally because I was gonna resell it, and then I just couldn't help myself.
You're a dumbass. I already sold 3 of them. Okay.
Anyways, that's what I bought. That's what I bought during Black Friday. I might buy Elder Scrolls Online tonight. No promises.
Promised.
I am on thin ice with my wife in terms of budget stuff, so I gotta play that carefully.
Skyrim is mostly made of ice.
Oh wow!
That's a place you can visit. Now it feels online.
feel right
and
at
now
home.
You got it.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's all I got. Anyone else have any closing comments for us?
Yeah, we're on Podbean, so if that's your podcast source, go ahead and find us on there.
Okay, there we go. Podbean.
Got anything, Donna?
Superbs.
Superbs. Find us on
Superbs.
Superbs.
Find us on Superbs.
We're gonna be doing the Game of the Year thing soon. Soon. I don't know when, but so when you get an episode, it's like us not talking about what we played, and it's us talking about games we played over the year. Then you know what's happened.
Yeah, that'll be coming soon, right in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do like a week or two, just because we probably won't be here between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, hit us up on our Gmail, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Ask us questions. We will answer. We love you. Good night and good luck.
That's to us people that can feel things. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.